Hey, and we're back already. That was just a quickie pause here, but the stream seems to be stable and running again. So let's dive into draft number 2 between KT and CE.
We apologize for missing the first half of it here, but the important things to point out is so far it's pretty normal, except for the first appearance of the day in the form of the ex-war chief in the form of Garrosh.
Yeah, Garrosh, the traitor. Tense game, but he's a good hero in Heroes of the Storm. Can't take away that from him.
Tense game I've ever seen or ever heard. Sorry.
All right, I can't wait for Varian to become part of the meta again with his new update. Potentially become part of the meta again. We will see how good it actually is, and then we can have battles between the glorious leaders of the Horde and the Alliance once more. I miss those days.
It's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. Varian does not lack the doesn't have the escape capability. So in theory, I mean, Garrosh should just straight up win that matchup.
But if you go Warbringer at level 10, you can now dash to allies.
Oh yay! That's going to help you behind walls.
It's going to get you 1 or 2 inches further back from Garrosh, which is not going to do anything.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Shield Wall's still going to be the go-to talent.
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
upgrade, if you consider it's a level 10 talent now, just make Warbringer. Give it extra range.
True.
I think it'd be great. Just have it update the range a bit.
So here's what I would like to see. Just reduce the cooldown reduction, right? So it won't give you too much, the Warbringer, that is. Let's say reduce the cooldown reduction by 2 seconds maybe. It's still going to be great, but increase the range so Varian can be this hyper-mobile.
And still have it go to allies.
Exactly, and allow it to go to allies. Fantastic.
Because that's the biggest thing about Varian. Then one of the most annoying things about him, he does it to play against. He doesn't have an escape, and he's basically immortal. And that's super irritating to play against. So give him a little bit of mobility, which means you have the chance of killing him before he can use his mobility to get out. It's going to be much more interesting to play against, I feel.
But already, once again, we can't wait for the new patch to hit the tournament service, to hit competitive play in the HGC with new Varian, with Phoenix in the mix as well. It's going to be good times, because right at the get-go, I think Phoenix is going to be an absolute staple in the competitive scene with the really mobile and interesting kit he has.
Oh yes, and an Uther Divine Shield composition once again making its way in, and also a Jada coming in as well. So first Jada of the day, still picked way more in China than every other region.
True.
Which is very interesting. They just seem to like her. So overall, the comp of CE is much more aggressive in this particular stance, but I kind of like the defensive and disengaged tools that KT have, especially in the form of Jaina and Stukov.
Yeah, definitely true. I think with Jaina and Greymane, they have some of the burstiest compositions in the world. They can definitely blow up people that are trapped in the Stukov silence. They once again go for Diablo Turiel, although the execution of both Apocalypse and Sanctification respectively were a little wonky. I think this time they're trying to go for it. This time they could actually get more value as well, because their team composition as a whole is more cuddly, right? Whereas in the past, they were sometimes all over the place. If they stick together as a unit now, they could probably overpower their opponents. However, once again, we do have KTY potentially on that Junkrat, causing so much mayhem, so much dislocation. And what's even most important to me is Lufel is back on the Genji, and you just can't stop that guy if he's on a good day.
Agreed. And before we head into game very quickly, shout out to chat for one of the best skin ideas I've seen in a while, Bavarian. Just Lederhosen Varian. Would be pretty DBs. But we are heading into game number 2 of this series, and it's going to be Fisherman versus Fish. No, it is not. It is going to be on Dragonshire, and it is going to be on the left, KT with Hope on Jada, Kaitu on Diablo, TWT on the Stukov, Lycia on the Tyrael, and Zizm is playing the Greymane.
Their opponents currently leading the score 1-0. It's none other than Challenge, also known as CE. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Here we go.
Nice.
Alufal on the Genji, his trademark hero. Wind on the Garrosh, same can be said about him. Uther is being played by 365 KTY on that Junkrat. And last but not least, we're going to have Zuyu on his baby girl on the Sonya.
So, Hammer of the Lightbringer coming in for 365. This is just the China special, this talent.
Yeah.
They love it. It's just the go-to these days, which is interesting to see. Garrosh not able to land a Wrecking Ball at this early stage in the game, and as such, no first blood picked up by either team.
Yeah, so do Korean supports, by the way. I think I haven't seen a single game at the Eastern Clash in which Uthers didn't go for Hammer of the Lightbringer, which gives you mana regen with every auto attack, balancing out one of the greatest weaknesses of Uther, which is, of course, his mana hunger, and, of course, giving you cooldown reduction after completing with every auto attack on Hammer of the on the Hammer of Justice, which is so good, especially if you want to lock down targets more frequently. Uther just becomes a very mobile target as well, or a very mobile hero with that level 4 talent that gives him movement speed every time he uses his E.
Suit of Justice. Someone actually suggested to me running some kind of attack speed boost hero, putting it on Uther and basically making Uther into like a healing version of Skullcracker Muradin. But we have not seen that in a very long time, as the Skullcracker was slightly changed. Camp being held here, delayed. 365 will cap it, though, in the end. And this is to let the enemy camp push up a bit, so that their camp will be fighting the camp of KT underneath the towers, to give them a good chance to defend in the maximum possible way.
Yeah, their own mercenaries are protected by the towers, while the enemy mercenaries are going to get hit and weakened by the towers as well. So, as you said, Petra, perfectly fine to wait a little bit longer. A Lufol with a cheeky flank right into the lurking arm. Needs to be careful. Zuyu single-handedly tanking that front line. But that one lurking arm is shutting down all the dreams and hopes of defending here for CE. So much value from TWT.
TWT has effectively and skillfully pressed E in the opponent's gate. One of the scariest things to deal with. And Wind, very aggressive move forward, trying to get something out of this. We're getting a kill, considering how much damage their structures have taken here. They've fed it pretty well, actually. But Zizm is, in fact, able to escape. TWT is not, though. And now looking for Diablo. Good stun onto him. Kaiju knocked up with the Groundbreaker. And CE, they get revenge for the structure damage they just took, picking up 2 kills.
Sticky team composition here from CE. They are so hard to run away from, especially the Garrosh landing stun after stun. Beautifully done here. Meantime, KTY was struggling a little bit against the Jaina, but with that onslaught in the top lane, with that double kill there, it was just a question of time until the Dragon Knight was unlocked, because KT was still in complete disarray, licking their wounds, not really being able to defend either of the shrines. Jaina now, Uther's coming for her. No, not to gank, just to heal Junkrat.
That is going to be pretty not so bad there, just the extra healing. Dragon Punch does not land there. Wind instead just going to be continuing those fire breaths, keeping damage up. Alufal is going to be okay here, but Sonya might be in a little bit more trouble. All the CC has been used, and therefore Sonya, she's able to press E and whirlwind her way to a much safer position.
Yeah, neither Greymane nor Jaina in the top lane to apply a little more pressure onto that Sonya, who was locked down. And it looks like CE is all over the place here, by the way. Insatiable on the Greymane, giving him a little bit more mana regen whenever the Inner Beast is active and basic attacks land on enemy heroes.
Never heard that word pronounced that way before.
How do you pronounce it?
It is insatiable, as in cannot be satiated.
Oh, damn it! I guess I'm not the native speaker then, so you must be correct. Insatiable. But I learn. Yeah.
I learn. Knowledge is power, and I know a lot. As we see CE taking out the mercenary camp here. Welcome to English lessons with Kendrick and Tetra. As we see them clear up Bruiser camp, that's going to put some pressure onto the bot lane and give them a little bit of help in clearing out the Siege Giant camps that was taken by KT. They want to put some pressure on Groundbreaker, Wrecking Ball, and the Junkrat Tire. The combo, and even the Code of Cold is whiffed there. Thanks for the nice dodge by Aloof.
Jaina going on the right here, unfortunately a very unpleasant one. The double knockback here, the first toss by Wind, then the concussion mine. Really cool to see how a low mobility assassin like Jaina is going to get punished if she's out of position here. Well done. Jaina and Garrosh, by the way, those two do have a history as well in the lore. So Horde fans are going to definitely be pleased about that outcome.
Yeah, good friends, good friends. They get along well on weekends, as we see CE pulling back away from the base here, as Tyrell and Diablo coming in from the side. This is the attempt at some kind of turnaround, but the Junkrat Steel Trap slows down Licia here, but he's able to just speed boost in.
And that is basically... Wait a minute, Jaina, are you for real? Hope, hello. She was in front of Turiel and in front of Diablo, main tanking it through. Here comes the Divine Shield, Dragon Blade. Genji is not done just yet. TWT is going to live for now, but
yeah, Genji with no deflex, not worth the risk.
Wow, that was so risky by the Jaina, and she got punished immediately. But I just wanted to mention that no matter what Kaito seems to be trying to do and get done on this Diablo, there's always a hero that messes up his combo. Whether it's a Luful dodging it all together with a Swift Strike, whether it's Junkrat deep pushing him away with a Concussion Might, or it's Garrosh just straight up surviving through it because of his armor. The overall efficiency of the two tanks, Turiel and Diablo, just is very underwhelming here. In the second game in a row, I really wish they would have gone for something different.
This could change. Once heroics are hit, they have the chance to attempt to turn this around. Sonya, by the way, going for Leap. We're seeing even more aggressive Sonyas these days, so not too surprising. It is slightly more common, but not going to be seeing any Leap anytime soon, as the second Dragon Knight of the game is picked up, and it is Sonya on the inside.
Sonya piloting the big Dragon Knight, already demolishing the middle fort, and hasn't taken a single point of damage. Still 100%. Two heroes are actually pushing in the top lane. 3 heroes, to be exact. They're trying to get some experience for that level 10, giving up the middle lane willingly, at least the towers of it. The wall is almost broken as well, so Garrosh could potentially go for an assault if he wanted to. Still 3 heroes on the top lane. Level 10 is here, so they need to go back ASAP if they want to prevent the Dragon Knight from dealing any more damage onto the keep.
They do. We can see Diablo is on his way back for exactly that reason. Needs to be in the defense position. He's not been as heroic, but I would be very shocked if this was not an apocalypse here. I mean, maybe Dragon. I really don't see why.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I was about to say I can't see any reason why Lightning Ref would be picked there.
Exactly. If you don't have a container, if you will, like let's say a Graviton Bomb or a Warden's Cage, that could be next level maybe. If you catch some people inside, then the Lightning Breath gets maybe a little bit of value. Here comes the sneaky Riptire. Does it get focused in time? No, only hits 2 people though.
Only 2 people. Wrecking Ball not landing the follow-up Groundbreaker though. Instead, the Taunt to kill off the Tyrell. Nice and easy. And Garrosh will survive through that explosion as well, able to wade his way into the enemy team. The Flaming Swipe attempted to be used, but not enough. But Sonya is taken out as a counter kill. Diablo, nice tackle as well onto a Lupul, picks up a second kill. And now they're turning it around. The fact that Zism survived all that damage is such a big deal for the turnaround attempt.
It really is. Sism with a big plays here, really surviving long enough to bait his enemies into a reckless pursuit. And for the first time, it is KT coming out on top of a team fight here. Finally, all their weapons seem to have clicked, with the exception of the Sanctification. It wasn't even needed. Couldn't even be used because Tyrell died first, after all, my mistake. So here we go. Look at Zism, barely surviving, baiting so many heroes. Zuyu first, Luful second. Those were the heroes that fell after all as well. Look at that. Bam.
Yeah, Luffy will get absolutely suplexed by Diablo there. Lovely turnaround by KT, and that's a big chunk of comeback XP for them. They are now still behind in terms of talents and levels, but they're a little bit closer to that level 13, which will even them up in terms of talents at least.
Jaina is already on the way to deal with those mercenary camps in the top lane. In the meantime, we see Zuyu waiting patiently until she uses the spin to win. Sonya, that is. Amicia in trouble, getting taunted. No Sanctification here. At least it wasn't wasted this time, but still, nice pickup by CE.
As we see Hope cleaning that up nice and quickly, dealing with the mercenaries. Jaina pretty good at exactly that thing, due to the amount of AoE damage that she does have available to her. And right now, with the game slowed down a bit, but with the coming of the next Dragon Knight, which is actually just going to be straight up taken. Okay. Oh, Stukov with the save within my reach.
Nice interrupt here. Definitely anticipating that someone of CE was already channeling that DK. And let's face it, with the next Dragon Knight, there could be a potential keep destruction. Following here comes Riptire from unseen territory right onto TWT on Stukov. The Sanctification is good. Stukov finding his way back into the fight.
We see the cleanse used on Zuyu, but the Holy Ground can't cleanse that. It's Ray gets Zuyu out and immediately turns around and gets Kaito in, but Kaito tackles that with the Shadow Charge. They turn around, nice Groundbreaker, but Kaito tanking through here. But successful mission by KT. They got the kill and have delayed the Dragon Knight.
This fight is not over. All the health bars are really looking good here for CE. They're not done just yet. Here goes Sonya spinning to winning. Gets shut down immediately, though. Win was actually trying to use that distraction to channel in the Dragon Knight. Luful's Dragon Blade is still going strong. No Divine Shield up to this point, though. He swift strikes out. The save probably hitting, probably saving Uther here with that interrupt here. Well done. But all Shrines still under control for CE. The Mercenary camp pushing in the bottom lane. This is still not over.
It's not over indeed. Wind, a nice little hit onto Alicia there. He's able to pull it back. And like you said, it's not over, but CE, they're approaching level 16. They have just over half a level to go for that. Sonya is going to be back. They're going to be in a reasonable position to attempt for this Dragon Knight again very shortly.
Ooh, the dismount by the minions is so huge, preventing Alicia from getting to the bottom in time here. But he just manages to get there after all. Holy Ground also locking down, or potentially locking down enemies in that choke point, so CE needs to be double careful here. Actually, it's quite admirable how KT clawed their ways back into the game here, almost evening out the experience score. Oh!
And boom! See ya, hope he had none, as Zuyu cleaned that up with a Luful.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if Sonya had vision. I think she had vision on the Jaina before when she was walking down, but the moment Zuyu used that leap, I don't think he had vision on her. So a leap of faith here, getting so much done, so much value. Without Jaina, there is no way KT can fight this unless they catch someone early. Divine shielded onto Uther himself. Beautiful hit on TWT. Genji going in immediately. No more CC available. This could be it. Sonya's on the way to the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight
will be
cometh.
Easy cap here going in for Zuyu. Now he can begin putting pressure on to Keep's tier 2 power time.
Yeah, that could definitely be a keep. 16 is here. The Dragon Knight is here as well. Is it going to be middle or is it going to be the bottom lane with the capturing of the Siege Giants? I think going for the middle makes a lot of sense. The towers have been destroyed already, and someone of the enemy team is definitely going to have to deal with those Siege Giants early. So a little bit of distraction here. The Dragon Knight looks healthy still. That should be a keep if they don't make a mistake here, if they don't lose anyone prematurely.
And down goes that keep in the middle lane, but Dragon Knight's still over half health, so it looks like they do want to attempt to make another keep attempt with this. Dragon Knight looking to potentially take a much riskier route here, and in fact is going to wade through. If it saved the punt, it could have maybe put Diablo in a rougher position, but instead, just going to begin throwing down that damage. The turnaround onto the beautiful kill on Jada, and this is the absolute power that Garrosh can offer.
Story of the game here, Hope dying first once again on the Jaina. No sanctification there to help him. No Stukov panic button because he doesn't have any to save him either. No Divine Shield, no Divine Palm, none of those sorts. And as such, mispositioning gets punished heavily. Without Jaina, looks to me like CE may be going for the core. The Riptide actually taking the aggro of the core here. Now, a last effort for KT. Can they do it?
Uther survives. Bernie's being forced to move back. Has to pop the Divine Shield here. Sanctification holding it back to 4v5 with Jaina about to come back. This core attempt is over. Unless they can get like so many kills. But with 365 low, a Luful low, and potentially Wind about to die. He keeps himself alive for the time being. But either way, this is a full retreat from CE right now. And this could result in a huge team up if they're not careful, as Wind does go down. Now a Luful is the target, but too mobile.
Yeah, the water elemental actually preventing Garrosh from running away here. It is such a strong chasing tool. Beautifully done, KT. True, they lost a keep. True, they lost a little bit of core health, but they're now up one person. Stealing away the mercenary camp. All CE needs to do now is run, wait for a little bit until Garrosh is back. Without him, they shouldn't try to go for an engage. They have all the time in the world, 2 level leads still. They can wait for 20 as well. So I like the patient move by CE. We have seen in the past that Chinese teams were still willing to fight 4 versus 5. I'm glad they didn't do it this time.
We see the mercenaries picked up. Like I said, the 4 versus 5 would have been incredibly risky, so CE instead just playing the map. They've already taken their own bruiser camp, looking to either raid or steal the opponents. They're being quite slow if they did want to steal it.
Yeah, the moment they see 4 members on the minimap, they're definitely going for it. Beautifully done here. Completely reading the enemy team's movement here, CE that is. They're trying to find a little bit of value when they're losing the bottom fort. Once again, forts in this stage of the game don't really matter too much anymore. There's only so long you can defend them in the first place. Their scaling is just not strong enough. For now, though, double Siege Giant, double Knight Camp, actually, sorry, in the top lane. It'd be very scary if KT doesn't take care of it.
Could be indeed. In fact, that fort will certainly die in the top lane,
be
but now it's going to be pressuring onto tier 2s. It could be. If it's left unattended, there's a minion wave behind it. That's going to begin to group everything up here. Nice groundbreaker by Wind. A little bit of extra harassment. And CE, they protect their tier 2s.
Exactly. Now they need to prevent KT from teleporting back, right? They need to prevent them from teleporting without exposing themselves too much. Material gets flung back in. No sanctification here either. He was interrupted.
Can't expose yourself to a dead man, as we see Zuyu getting focused down here, kind of surrounded. Lovely attack by Diablo, but Loop will still get out. Loop for Zuyu with the Mystical Spear, and Kaito is taken out. He does, however, have full souls, so he will be back, and that will allow him to defend top lane, as KTY is going to get killed off here. And the total mayhem, though, kills off the Greymane. Zuyu returns. He was just going to go and get top lane instead. He's realized KT is still here for some reason, and is instead going to join his team for the almost full team wipe.
KTY role-playing that Junkrat like an absolute champion, the madman, dying on purpose to get the value of his dying trade. Fantastically done. And all they need to do, see, in the first place is buying time. Anyways, look at the catapults, look at the minions and the mercenaries. They're completely demolishing the remainders of KT's base here without breaking too much of a sweat here. That is going to be the last keep falling. They can get the Dragon Knight now, and they don't even need Junkrat at this point, I feel, to even end the game.
Yeah, they really don't, but they're going to be able to have him anyway. The Dragon Knight, they can actually delay it a little bit due to the amount of deaths that are currently on the side of KT. They're going to grab a Siege Giant camp, the only mercenary remaining on the map. So Bot is going to be pressured. They're going to have a Dragon Knight. Junkrat will be a little late. I doubt they'll delay this too long. Yeah, Zuyu's just going to start capping that now. Junkrat is on the way, so he will arrive pretty quickly after they arrive at the base.
Now, this is a true Monka-ass moment here for KT. All they need to do right now is force a fight in before the Dragon Knight reaches the base, but that is easier said than done. CE knows exactly what the only winning condition for KT could be here, or at least the only stabilizing condition, but as such, the Divine Shield is good, buying so much time. Dragon Knight is already right-clicking on the core, and I think it's probably going to be a Tetra.
Yep, 4 versus 4 team fight in the mid lane. Diablo is not with his team while his entire team is dying. And the Dragon Knight, like you said, is right-clicking on the core. Diablo tries to come in, and they could even wipe CE here, but it's not going to happen. CE will live, only Genji dying, and the core goes down. GG! Sonya even leaps in for good measure. They are just trying to get the XP at this point if this was a Hero League game. But KTY kills off the core, and that is a 2-0. CE able to take the win.
Yeah, CE is back in the business, ladies and gentlemen, taking down KT in a clean 2-0, like they were supposed to, quite honestly. If they want to maintain their hopes of becoming first or second place at the end of the season, then they're definitely going to have to continue to play like that, because that was just a masterclass. CE looked dominant all the time, and KT, it was just too much for them to handle, it seems. Despite going for very team fight-centric drafts, they could never win any.
And that's going to put CE on 5.